Much later in the day, it started drizzling, and Didi and I were helpless spectators. Maharaji suddenly got up, caught hold of my hand, and said, "Let's return to the house." At night, when we were alone with him, he asked, "What are you going to do?" I said, "We shall send her off to my uncle." "That will not help you. Your uncle will tell you to vacate his house. This is why I was asking you to build your house." Didi said, "Baba, it is so very difficult for us. We do not have the money, neither do we have any idea how to get things for making it." He said, "It will be built and built soon." He left the next day, giving us the usual cheer, "Sab theek ho jayega." Things began moving fast. Some days after Baba had gone, the old lady was sent back. She made all kinds of charges against us, and as a result, we got a letter from my uncle asking us to find another house. It came as an unexpected shock. Somehow, Baba had a way of knowing things. At the end of 1957, a friend of mine came one day and said, "Look here, you cannot build your house." He knew our financial condition. "I have talked to an engineer contractor here, and the old man has agreed to build your house. You make an initial payment and he will build the house, and you can pay him in installments over the years. So try to collect some money." With difficulty, we collected some money and took out loans. That man, Mr. Agarwal, was a retired engineer and a very sympathetic and helpful person. He realized our difficulty and was willing to assist us in every possible way. He and his son came and made plans. Work began within a month. Ma said, "See how Babaji has been helping you. It is all due to his grace that you are going to get your house." I was thinking more of my friend and the engineer going out of their way in helping us, rather than the unseen hand of Babaji behind the whole episode. Just a few weeks before the construction of the house started, Baba arrived. Since the old lady had gone away, the atmosphere was peaceful. Ma and Mausima had already become very close to him. For them, Babaji was a very wise and dear member of their whole household. He talks with them would always be intimate and affectionate. Ma and Mausima and Didi were deeply religious and became close with Baba from the first day he came. He actually began asking about each and every detail of the family and advising them. My mother and auntie would discuss even the minor things of the household with him, and he would solve all their problems, family or financial or material. He could be so very affectionate, behaving just like a son to his mother. "Ma, bring me food, I am feeling hungry." "Kamla, please scratch my back." Babaji at first called me by my name Sudhir or just Professor. It was in 1961 that one day he started calling me Dada. Others followed, but not my ma and Mausima. He asked them why they called me by name and not Dada. When they said that a son is not addressed so, he said, "When he is my Dada, he is your Dada also." One day I was alone with him and he asked me, "Your friends are not coming now. They must be warning you about the danger of coming under the influence of a Baba and being close with him. They love you and therefore they warn you for your own good." Am I wrong? I had no reply to give. He was right. I was rather an outsider at the beginning and I was not psychologically or mentally prepared for the difficulties and disturbance his coming created. I was quite interested in social and cultural life, going to the pictures, making friends, addressing various kinds of cultural gatherings, meetings, debates, and I had a very large circle of friends. They would come and gather together just like members of the family. Now, when Babaji began coming, there was no place for them to come and sit. Also, many of my friends did not like the idea. "Oh, you have become the victim of some Baba." When his visits continued, they would say I was wasting my time. In spite of all their solicitations, I could not change my new way of living. I was losing my interest in my old life, but I could not think that Babaji had anything to do with it. For me, it was just like dry leaves falling from the tree without anybody's hand behind it. Mosima had already apprised Babaji about the agreement with the contractor and said it was all done by Baba. I do nothing, it is God who does everything. Thank God for His grace. Ma said, Baba, we do not know God, but we know you. So we are saying that you have done it. Babaji changed the topic of talk. A few days after he left, the construction of the house started. It was ready within 4 months and we shifted to it in the middle of July 1958. Some minor finishing work was being done when Babaji arrived 4 days later. He was accompanied by three old devotees. He showed them around the whole building and explained all about the house and how it was built. Red house, very well built. We had never before seen him behave like an innocent little one displaying his excitement. One day my auntie said to Babaji, Baba, you love Dada so much. You have built such a beautiful house for him. Babaji replied, Dada's house. This is my house. Dada is my guest. More than 2 years passed. There were several visits that he made during that period, but his stay never exceeded 3 or 4 days at a time. Whenever he came, someone accompanied him. There were no bags to be carried or any work to be done for him. The only clothes he wore were the dhoti and a blanket or a white sheet to wrap around his body. That was all he used to have with him, whether he was staying with a devotee or traveling. Whenever a devotee would make him change his clothes, he would leave the clothes he had come wearing. His food was also very simple and it was easy for his devotees with modest means to feed him. He was not a burden to his devotees. This we could see from the very beginning. It was much later I realized that although he was never any burden to his devotees, he himself was carrying so much of their burden. After that time, Maharajji would come to Allahabad for the winter months and many devotees would come. Siddhi Didi, her husband, Tularam, Jivanti Ma, and many devotees from Nainital, Lucknow, Kanpur, and other places. Sometimes Babaji would go out for a few days to Banaras or Vrindavan or Jagannath Puri. I could not go with him because there were so many people coming to the house and I had to look after them. Very seldom would he take me along. When he wanted to go on a long journey, he would ask Didi's brother, who was posted in Kanpur, to send his car and driver, Bijlal, who was an expert driver and also a great devotee. Much later in 1964, he went to Jagannath Puri with Siddhi Didi and a few others for a week. One day the car came and the driver opened the gate and shouted at me, Dada, Maharajji took us to Dakshineshwar to the Shiva temple and he said, I gave mantra to your Dada in this temple. Then Siddhi Didi and others who were also there narrated the whole things in details to us. Now all this shows that you do not go to him, he comes to you. This was all his grace. I had done nothing to deserve it. I did not know him. I did not seek mantra from him. He caught hold of me and gave me that. Then he came to that house and said, Henceforth I shall be staying with you.